women were not getting listened to. Women would have symptoms that were not being considered as part of their overall healing plan. And in fact, these symptoms were just being brushed under the rug.
I have never been an anxious person, and then all of a sudden I was on high alert for things that I would have just blown off. So if you are one of those women that has gone to your preferred practitioner and they are telling you that your blood work is normal, that is so common. I would have spent years not knowing that I needed to just take this simple supplement and just shift my diet a little bit.
There have been countless studies that have shown the benefits for all these different modalities to help with healing your hormones.
I was able to take that information and implement something that I knew for a fact that my body needed and get better in 6 months, a thing that I was dealing with for 10 years. Hello and welcome to NHN. Natural Health Network is a vetted directory of holistic providers, products, and services. And today I'm here with Renata Trebing of Nourish with Renata, and we have an exciting announcement. She is partnering with Buhay Health and Wellness to start a natural hormone therapy program for women that is going to be unlike any other program that you may have found. It's going to be the thing that you have been looking for if you're feeling off and you're going to the doctor and they're telling you that you're normal and then it's just a part of everyday aging. If you are feeling off, that's not normal. So I'm so excited. Thank you for having me today. And I'm so excited to dive into this program that you have custom created based on the women that you work with as a hormone nutritionist. And you know the needs.
The reason why I partnered with Buhay on the natural hormone therapy program is because we absolutely saw a gap in the market. Women were not getting listened to. Women would have symptoms that were not being considered as part of their overall healing plan. And in fact, these symptoms were just being brushed under the rug. And both Francine Sims, the head nurse at Buhay, and myself really believe deeply that women's healthcare deserves better. And that's when we created the numerous protocols that are covered under the natural hormone therapy.
So exciting. So obviously it's for women that maybe have hormonal related imbalances that are causing issues, correct? So what would that look like? What kind of symptoms are they struggling with?
I think there are several symptoms that are related to hormones that you might be aware of, but that you may also not be aware of. So some of the most simple ones could be premenstrual syndrome or PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Now, with those particular conditions, what we want to be able to do is pinpoint exactly what your PMS or PMDD symptoms are, which can range from anything like fatigue to high amounts of anxiety, perhaps rage, frustration, even the inability to get out of bed before your period begins. This is a really helpful way of helping us to custom care your plan. So in addition to PMS and PMDD, there's other things that we've developed protocols for. Namely, if you're preparing for fertility or wanting to become pregnant, or if you're in your postpartum phase, you may also be suffering from conditions that are very unique to women, such as polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS or endometriosis. In addition, for us as women, we all go into perimenopause, and being able to support yourself holistically and also with a scientifically proven method that helps you to minimize those symptoms is incredibly important. Those are just a few of the things that we help women with at Buhay.
One that I have noticed and I've struggled with myself was first irregular periods and then the mental symptoms that come with that. I have never been an anxious person, and then all of a sudden I was on high alert for things that I would have just blown off. And I didn't realize how closely connected our mental space is. The body is connected. So physical symptoms and hormone imbalance were causing my anxiety.
Absolutely.
And nobody was telling me that. If you have noticed an onset of anxiety that you haven't had before, that can be a symptom as well. That can
Absolutely.
be helped.
Yes, I think that's a great point to make because for women that might be experiencing even higher anxiety before their periods or during their periods, or in perimenopause, actually, that's when a lot of increased anxiety can occur. This is something that you do not need to continue to live with, and you can get a lot of support with that through the protocols that we've developed.
So if you are one of those women that has gone to your preferred practitioner and they are just telling you that your blood work is normal, that is so common. And why is that? Why do they tell you that blood work is normal?
This is something we see on a daily basis because traditional lab work uses a very specific range of parameters to tell us whether we're in what they call the normal range. And unfortunately, what we've determined is that particular range is based off of men's lab work. So it does not account for us as women having fluctuating hormone levels throughout the course of our cycles or even in perimenopause. So when we do functional medicine lab work like we do at Buhay, we're accounting for the changes in hormone levels because we're not the same every single day. We fluctuate throughout the entire cycle, and that needs to be considered so that we can actually get to the root cause of healing.
Well, and then they don't take into consideration asking you what day of the cycle did you take the blood work on?
Yes, that's so important. And especially for me, having been through lab work with traditional doctors and getting the what I like to call snapshot in time of a particular lab that only tells you what's happening in your body right now. Whereas with something like a Dutch test, which is what we do at Buhay through the natural hormone therapy program, it gives us a range of how your body is behaving throughout the course of the day because we actually see multiple points of samples being taken. And this helps to open up a world of understanding so that it's not just at this one particular point in time, everything looks quote unquote normal. We're seeing how you're responding to your environment and to your life. And that is hugely important.
Yes, it is. I've taken the Dutch test myself, and I wish I had taken it years sooner to get the answers that I needed to feel my best. Because let's face it, if you're not feeling your best, life is just not as good. Health is wealth, and it is definitely worth it to go into a program that really has the correct testing that is going to get that real snapshot of exactly what's going on in your body that tells the story of what is off and what might need to be fixed. And in my experience, it was just, you're not processing this right, so let's add in this supplement before you eat. And it was like night and day, which I would have spent years not knowing that I needed to just take this simple supplement and just shift my diet a little bit. That being said, what does the initial visit look like for the women that come in? What kind of environment is it, and what do these tests look like?
So this is a great question because I know sometimes it might feel a little bit overwhelming to go into a new clinic for the first time to get help. The thing that we love to do first and foremost is sit down with you and listen to your health story. We want to get an understanding of what you've experienced in your life because all of that allows us to see patterns. These patterns help us to determine potential root causes. And from that, we can then suggest different lab testing so that we can fully understand what's occurring inside of the body. This is one of the things that I love the most about the natural hormone therapy program. We get to combine the science of functional lab work with things like nutritional and hormone coaching that I provide, as well as the incredible modalities that Buhay offers, things like IV infusions, wellness shots, red light therapy, and so much more. There have been countless studies that have shown the benefits for all these different modalities to help with healing your hormones. And so this is a highly bespoke and personalized program because we listen to you first. And then from there, we're able to suggest the program for you moving forward.
I have to ask that question that we know that we're going to get first from everyone, and that is the affordability. First of all, before we even dive into this, let me just say, take into consideration if you are struggling with hormones and just feeling off, and you are taking time away from whatever it is you do, either work, family, just life in general, making time for all of these appointments and not getting answers or being dismissed. I know for me, I had a pretty high deductible to go see specialists only to not get the answers that I needed. And then just to keep for years, keep going and getting no answers and feeling no better, investing in that functional testing that gets to the root cause pretty quickly. And sometimes I know that you might need more than one functional test to get the answers that you need. And I'm not saying that it is a quick fix overnight, but the deeper dive on that information and knowing specifically what is going on in your body made a huge difference. And I was able to take that information and implement something that I knew for a fact that my body needed and get better in 6 months, a thing that I was dealing with for 10 years. Yeah. So that being said, what does the initial investment look like?
The initial investment is a really great question because we're all thinking about how much money we're spending on health and how to make it something we can really fit into our lives. So what I would recommend here is to talk to either Francine Sims or myself about the initial investment because we understand. We want to make this accessible and affordable for you. And there are absolutely going to be times when if you have a flexible spending account that can be used to cover the costs for the initial investment. Now, what's awesome is we also work with you depending on what your budget is. So if you were to come to us and explain, I have this budget and I would love to do a nutrition and hormone consult, or I'd love to see what lab testing could fit into this budget, that's how we love to work because we want to get this program into the hands of so many women so that you can experience the healing that you're not getting from other providers.
So what are next steps? If someone is, wow, I wonder if this is for me, where can they find the information?
Yes, so you can go to the Buhay Wellness Clinic's website, which we'll link on this video, and navigate towards the natural hormone therapy. You'll be able to book a consultation. It's super easy to do. We're very open to having conversations, especially if you're concerned about the price point. In addition, we want to make sure that you share the word about natural hormone therapy because we truly are combining the benefit of science and lab testing with the things that I know work so powerfully for my female clients, and that is the power of nutrition. So be sure to share this out with everyone because we want more women to get the healing they deserve.
If you want an easy hack, I'm going to share a secret with you to find holistic practitioners such as Renata and Buhay Health and Wellness and so many others. You can go to naturalhealthnetwork.org, the directory tab, and you can find Buhay and Nourish with Renata there. Buhay is the one that you want for this specific program. It'll take you to their website, and I have an interview with them so you can see the office before you ever go. All kinds of great information. That's the hack. Make sure you tell that little secret to your friends as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so excited to see how many women's lives are changed by this program.